I am absolutely burnt out. I'm exhausted. All the rhetoric we see online and people spinning information and then turning around and giving it to you and then you going around and turning around and giving it to somebody else. We've created a bullshit toxic culture. I know it doesn't make sense. Let me explain. So it's not uncommon for me to post on social media about a lot of the things that I post on YouTube about, right? The economy, real estate, law, banking, finance, whatever it might be. And people like you, the listener, typically respond well, but there are a lot of people out there who have opinions. And very rarely is the person who criticizes me somebody who's qualified to have that opinion. Fine, that's all good. I'm all fine with it. But here is the cult that we're all buying into. Here's the crazy shit that we're all actually doing. We're getting our information from sources like Dave Ramsey, a personal finance personality, whatever the hell that means. It means he's not an economist is what it means. Or we get our information from the social media website, Keeping Current Matters, which caters to providing social media content to realtors to help them get more business. They're not economists and they have a bias and a clear agenda. And it goes on and on and on from there. Rarely does anybody ever talk to me and cite things like GDP or the Atlanta Fed or the Fed Secretary's minutes or, I don't know, somebody that's got some notable circumstance of data. What I typically get is, you don't know what you're talking about because Dave Ramsey says home prices aren't going to go down. Well, what's the value in that statement? A man who's not an economist, who makes money off of driving people through ClickFunnels, has an opinion which happens to benefit his wallet. Or should we quote, I don't know, maybe a government agency whose responsibility it is to aggregate and report data out as it relates to the economy with no bias other than the fact that they came up with this conclusion? People don't want to do that. What they want to do is comment, you're wrong, bro. No, you're stupid. I actually said in a comment the other day that the yield curve inversions, the three that we've experienced, typically precede a recession if one of them happens, and yet here we are with three. A private profile, of course, it's always private profiles to do this, said, you think you're complicated, bro, because you said curve? They already raised interest rates, the Fed interest rates, and we haven't seen mortgage rates go up. They've actually went down. You don't know what the you're talking about. And I'm sitting here looking at myself and going, okay, well, what value are we doing here now as a society? I typically engage these accounts because I want to try to teach people. I want to educate people. I do this channel. I have the social media platforms. We do all this. We're not selling anything. And this costs me money and time to produce. And it takes just as much time and energy to respond to the comments the way that I do. And you will oftentimes find me in and on some of these pages talking to people about some of the misconceptions that they're getting from those accounts directly. And I always do it in a collegial and professional way. But invariably, there are people who buy into their shtick unilaterally without thinking. Just as recently as today, I had someone tell me, you know what? Dave Ramsey says credit cards are bad. If you use credit cards, that's bad. And we all know, if you watch this channel and there's previous videos, and I'll put a link to it on this actual video, that credit cards can help you, and they're actually where I recommend to be preferred. And then he cites all this information and YouTube videos. Of course, they're all Dave Ramsey information. And I'm sitting here thinking, what are we doing to ourselves as a society? We're building this cult, this culture where we believe so much in these personalities and we aspire to be them and we put them on a pedestal that we don't even do the due diligence to verify who the hell it is that's giving us the information and what their agenda is. This is a macro problem. This isn't just isolated to a few influencers on social media. This is, what is the news' agenda? Who owns Fox? What's the background on some of these things? Why don't we think through what's actually happening? There's a tremendous amount of economic data that is out there. And while I don't go to pages that tend to agree with me because I don't want confirmation bias, it's polarizing to me to see that there are people out there who are very smart and educated who say the economy is fine, it'll be a soft landing, there won't be a recession, there certainly won't be a crash, and everything's good. And there's other people out there who are equally as intelligent saying the world is ending, this is going to be a huge problem, you should probably gear up. And while I'm not saying either one of those extremes are accurate, what I am saying is this, is that really intelligent people can have a bias or a financial reason for giving you their variant of the story, and you, the consumer, need to do your own due diligence and homework before you take anybody's data and say, this is the truth. And that goes for me too. Anything that we present to you on social media, you'll find we always provide sources to the extent that we can, and I will link the source articles. That's so you can do your homework too. Anything that we do on this channel, I encourage you to do the same with. Check me out, verify me, fact check me, leave your comments, I will respond to them, and let's engage in that educational banter. I do not care if you don't agree with me. I do care if you're disrespectful, but let's have these exchanges in a politically correct and frankly, respectful way so that we can all help each other grow. To date, I've challenged every single one of these people, these personalities, to debate their opinion when they don't agree with me. And not once has anyone ever taken me up on the offer. The reason why is simple. Not because I'm intelligent, not because I'm scary. It's because they have a bias. And if I expose the bias, they're worried they're going to make less money. Take this with a grain of salt, do your homework, comment below, and I'll see you out there.